Hey, good morning, guys. It's Donald and Mary, and we're here to bring you your morning weather, water, and trail channel report. And so we're going to start off with the weather, and then after, I have a little bit of news. All right, Mary, why don't you go ahead and start that off?
All right, Donald, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Here in Blairsville right now, it is 60 degrees with a little bit of fog. It's a beautiful morning. We're looking at a high today of 80 degrees with a mixture of clouds and sun. It will be hazy with winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then tonight, 61 degrees, clear to partly cloudy with some haze. Up on Blood Mountain today, a high of 74 degrees, patchy fog before 9 a.m., and then it will be sunny. And then tonight, a low of 58, mostly clear, 10 to 15 mile per hour winds, and gusts between 20 and 25 miles per hour today and tonight. Water is good on the trail. Just make sure you top off at Hawk Mountain Shelter. That's if you're going northbound. You'll have 6.2 miles until Justice Creek, so make sure you have enough water to get through there. Make sure you check those branches and limbs before you set up camp with the gustier winds, especially things can and do fall down. Some other news right now, there was someone that had a backpack stolen a couple of miles north of Neil Gap last night. Not sure if it was a bear or another person that took it. Most likely a bear.
This happens more often than not, and it isn't actually posted online. We see this quite often, and I think it's a bear.
I think it's a bear also.
Yeah, I think it's a bear. There was an abandoned tent 1 mile up at Bull Gap. I think it's been there,
It
man.
looks like it's been there a bit.
Yeah, I don't mess with stuff, so we just left it and didn't even go up to it. But it was definitely like you could see where it had rained and all the dirt that it kind of collects on the side because it's like, blasting upwards kind
It
of from
looked
the.
weather worn.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Definitely. It didn't look like it had been used for a minute, but that tent was up there. And so I'm not going to touch something. There could be someone out there that's using that tent. You never know. And so there are people that live out there. But I don't think they're stealing
I
backpacks.
don't think so either. We'd hear more about it, especially. So I think it's a bear that got curious and took the pack and ran.
Yeah, I'm not going to say they were careless, but they probably didn't take the precautionary
Measures.
measures
Yeah.
to secure their pack from bear encounters. And so there's a lot of bear over there, man. There's a couple of them. It's not just one.
Right,
There's
right.
numerous bear over there. And so I guarantee, well, not guarantee, but I'm like 99.9% sure that bear got snatched up by a,
Bear took that.
yeah. I mean, that bag got snatched up by a bear. All right, next. What else you got there, my
That's
friend?
what I have. It's your turn.
Well, okay, sweet. So, next, we're going to go ahead and talk about some search and rescue. And so, a family, 5 juveniles, and I think it was 6 people, 5 juveniles and 1 adult, maybe. I could be wrong on the number of juveniles, but it was quite a few. Anyways, there was a trail called the Greenhorn Mountain Trail in Colorado. Saturday afternoon, 25-hour search it took to find these people. Two of the people left the group in search of rescue, and so one search and rescue member was injured while searching for the family or the group. They were lifted out by helicopter and brought into the medical center. It was not life-threatening injuries. The hikers contacted the search and rescue around 7:30 p.m. Friday, and they were definitely lost. They didn't know where they were. It prompted an immediate ground and air search that continued into the overnight hours. The hikers were located on a steep and wooded area. everyone came out with no injury.
That's good to hear.
It really is. I feel like I've been reading a lot about people getting hurt, getting lost, dying, falling off of cliffs.
It does seem to be quite a bit recently.
I want to say that this is just my opinion. I think there are a lot of influencers, or like for instance, every time I see, like, not every time, but a lot of the time that I see the news reporting a death of a hiker or like this search and rescue, they got 6 kids out there with a few adults climbing up probably something they shouldn't. And so a lot of the times that I read these type of articles, I always read the article saying influencer. There's always an influencer thing in there, man. And then, you go and look and the person, it does have a following. And it's usually a big one. And then you have, other influencers out there. I'm not saying all. I want to make sure that people understand I'm not calling every influencer an issue.
Right.
I'm saying that just because someone is on trail doesn't make them an expert. Like, for instance, I was reading down through and I see a lot of these ads, and one of them was a Z-Pack ad. And I like to read the comments to see what's going on. And they were praising the Durston tent, saying that the Z-Pack tent was, overpriced, and Durston was their competitor, and they needed to get the Z-Pack down to the Durston prices, which I have no idea what their prices are. I know the Z-Packs are usually $1,000 for their stuff, man. And so whatever the prices may be, it doesn't matter. But then I saw someone else chime in because they were all talking. It was a whole thing about Durston, dude. Everyone was kind of commenting. Someone pointed out Damascus that most of the tents were Durstons. And so most of those people are one-time hikers and only hiked 500 miles. And, they buy the Durston because that's what everyone is buying. And it's like I'm not calling it a trend, but I'm going to say that most people are buying it because that's what's going on the internet, and that's what people are talking about around the campfire. Well, my issue with that is these people have only walked 500 miles. How do they know that the Durston is better than a Big Agnes or a Nemo or a Z-Pack or whatever tent is out there that's popular? How do they know? And so my thing is to go back to the influencers again. You have the blind leading the blind or teaching the blind. And I think that it causes issues because when people say they're influencers and they're expert hikers, and I'm going to say expert because that's what I read, or experienced. And so it's like you look at the person and it's like, dude, wait a minute, man. They're out there in 105-degree weather with a tank top on and a pair of thong underwear or thong bikinis and a pair of sandals hiking 20 miles with no hydration pack, no protection, nothing with them. And so they're calling them experienced. And then there's Jimmy over here that's trying to get into hiking. He's interested in it. And he's seeing them call her experienced, so he thinks that's okay. And I think that's actually hurting the hiking community.
I think it is too. People set out with high expectations of what they're going to be able to accomplish.
And what do you mean by the high expectations?
High expectations of the miles they're able to
Yes.
do,
Yeah, I wanted
the
you to
gear
say
they're able to take or should be taking according to popular opinion. And I see a lot of times people that we pick up,
All the
they're
time.
discouraged because, oh, I didn't do that 25 miles today because somebody's out there, showing the fun times and the butterflies and daisies, and they're not showing the hardships of everything, and they're greatly discouraged, ready to quit. And, you have a little talk with them, and, they get back to, okay, because they realize the reality of it compared to the not so real side of what they're being shown.
Right.
And it leads to a lot of expectations that are going to be a disappointment and maybe the end of a hike for someone.
That's right.
Because they can't keep up with the standard that's being set forth by someone that's out there, whether they're experienced or not. And that's another thing. If you're looking at experienced hikers also, don't try to put yourself on the same wavelength as they are, because they've been out there. Right. They've been doing time out there. So do what works for you and you'll be successful. And every information is good. It's important, but take and learn from the good and the bad and modify it to yourself, to what you can do, learn from each, and then do your own hike, because that's what's important, and that's what will work for every single person out here.
I see that. And so I think I always see people asking, or new hikers asking questions about how many miles they should hike, what shuttle, what hot, you know what I mean, man? And then you have like 100 people answering all different answers, man. And all you can do is come out here and learn.
That's right.
You make a foundation. Don't make a job out of this. Don't think it's hard or anything. Just come out here with an open mind and learn. Learn from the experiences that you encounter while you're on trail. And so you can never feel what someone else is feeling. So asking them what they felt, for pain, or what was their experience, mentally and physically. You can't compare yourself to them. And so I think just keeping an open mind, not making it a job. Get your foundation. With your foundation are your shoes and your backpack. Don't go overboard. It's going to take a while to find what works for you, and it is going to cost some money. And so, and it's going to take time. Not everyone can wear an Ultra Zero drop. They may need a 4mm drop or just a regular shoe. Everyone is different. Someone might need a extra large Big Agnes Comper spur because they're 6'8".
That's right.
I'm only like 5'11". She's 5'1". But no, what I'm trying to say is I'm comfortable in a regular size 10. But I really think that a lot of mistakes are happening because people are taking challenges that they should not be even thinking about yet. And that is why I keep seeing this stuff here. These kids should not just be out there climbing and rock scrambling, or, they need time to learn and find out what their limitations are, and taking them on a trail that an experienced hiker goes on, or, because Backpacker magazine said it was one of the top 10 on their list, does not mean that you should just go out there if you're a new person, or you got to find your limitations or limits, and then
grow and build from there. And
that's right.
Then you'll be
One step at a
successful.
time.
Because just like in daily life, where we're not all the same, out there hiking, we're not all the same, but we all grow no matter what it is we're doing in life. And as you get out there and get more experience, you will grow. You will get the miles. You will be able to carry certain gear. It's a learning experience every single time you go out. And if you take the time and don't rush into it and learn from your experiences, you're going to have some awesome trips.
Yes, and also I'd like to say that just because a hike is probably going to only be 2 or 3 miles, man, or maybe just 2 miles in and out, or whatever it may be, don't leave your gear behind. Pack like you're going out for a day or two. Pack some food, power bars, some whatever. I carry my stove no matter what, and some peaks or mountain houses or whatever I've got in my closet over here. I throw it in my bag, bags of chips, man, power bars, and I carry that stuff with me. I also carry an extra pair of clothing and socks and some other items, my battery pack, my light, my headlamp. And I carry all this because you never know what is going to happen out on trail. You don't know if you're going to encounter someone that needs your assistance or some of that stuff, man. So I just carry it with me. And I think that one of the biggest mistakes I've seen over and over again that's been repeated just over and over, man, whenever I read stuff, is the people are not prepared. They're not carrying. When I look at their stuff, man, they're not carrying anything. They're just out there and and then they have the experienced hiker attached with it. And it's like, absolutely not. No, no. Experienced hiker wouldn't just go out there like that, man. And so that's what I wanted to kind of say, man. Or that's my opinion on what I see every time I read this stuff,
I
man.
want to add something to that I actually experienced myself. Several years ago, it was mid-October, and I was up at Newfound Gap. I encountered a woman, probably in her late 40s, early 50s, and I was heading over to the restroom there while I was waiting for a hiker. And she came up to me and she asked me about going out to Charlie's Bunyan. And I told her, I said, you should carry some gear, tent, backpack, food, water, be prepared. And because, you have to go out and then back. And she said, okay, thank you. And as I came back up from the restroom to wait for the rider, I saw her, and I assume her husband and a young man and a young lady, which I assume are their older children, probably late teens, early 20s, and they all had on day hydration packs. And I walked up to her because I'm thinking to myself, you got to go out and back. And I said, ma'am, I said, if you're going all the way out to Charlie's Bunyan, I said, you really should consider food, water, tent, sleeping gear for the night, because you don't know how experienced somebody is. And, you get out there, you might say, oh, this is enough for today. I don't want to
That's right,
walk back. And she said to me, she goes, well, we have food and water. They each had a small 16-ounce bottle of water and a granola bar.
Sweet.
So I said, all right, have a good time. And because you can't tell people what to do, I suggested, because I saw something that might be unsafe. So I went back to the vehicle and I looked towards the overlook because I was enjoying the view. And then I saw the four of them coming back down, entering their car and leaving. So I think maybe they didn't even realize that when you leave the pavement there, you're actually starting on the trail. I don't know if they thought it was going to be all paved, but I was very relieved that they decided to turn back. And that's some of the stuff that Donald is talking about right now. Be prepared, because you don't know what you're going to encounter. So that's something I experienced myself, and I wanted to share that. It's a good example.
It actually happens more often than not out here. And so, I mean, we see stuff every single day and listen and hear seeing and hearing and experiencing other people's experience. Every single day we hear this. And so, I think that if people stop listening to the influencers if they don't look like they're doing something right, blow it to the side. A lot of people are just looking, and the ads they get paid for, and a lot of influencers. I've been around them and I've watched them work, and they're trying to get gear and stuff from these companies that they're promoting, and so it may not even be that good a gear, man. It's just a free thing to them, or you know what I mean, man. Or getting paid, man. That's how they get paid, and so I'm not trying to put them down. That's
No, I
not
think
what.
everybody should use their best judgment and be aware of their capabilities and what works best for them.
That's right.
And move forward from there. And that's what I think people need to be doing. I mean, watch the stuff, find out some information
Sure,
about
man,
what
yeah,
they're
but
talking
don't
about.
take it-
But don't take it as law out
That's
there, as the
right.
number one thing that you must be doing, because we are all different people, and as in life, everything suits each individual. Then the same thing when you're out there on whatever trail that you're on. It's going to work for you, what you find works best.
And I wish that influencers would do that when they advertise. They just say, hey, this is, and explain it like not trying to sell you, but explain it like this could be a good pack for you, or this could be a good whatever,
Right,
and I think that would really help a lot,
I think
but
it would
it's not going to, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. It's just the way it is. It's a business. And that's how I look at it. Everyone's trying to make money, and I understand the hustle. Trust me, man, I get it. But at the same time, newer people are soaking that information up, and they're getting hurt. And so, all right. And so we had some kids, man, 3 kids up, I believe, in New Hampshire, that called in their friend being dead, and they were mistaken because they were tripping on mushrooms. And so mushroom hikers tripping call in the death of their friend. Their friend called and said that they were not dead. Some people that were working, I think, on the mountain or something, man, talked to them and figured out that they were on mind-altering substances. And so the ambulance came and took 2 of them off while the other one went back to the camp. And then the 2 joined them later and probably laughed about it.
Hopefully all is well now, and they've come back to their reality. And
That's right. They
they're
probably
okay.
gave them some Valium or Xanax, man. Brought them down off their trip. Crazy stuff right there, man. All right, guys. And so today, man, is absolutely gorgeous. So we have Jordan heading down to Atlanta right now. He's picking up a hiker that actually started May 20th. We picked them up at Forsyth Station, Atlanta, brought them up to Amicalola. They hiked for however many days. They're back at Amicalola Lodge, and we are picking them up this morning to bring them back to Forsyth Station because they just can't do the miles that they wanted to do, and they're just finished, man. And so, and then after we have a Sandy Springs to Springer Mountain that we're doing, and then Mary should be down at the shop.
I am going to be down at the shop today.
Going to do what?
I'm going to finish up that wall down there.
Yay! And then not only is she gonna work on the wall, our internet that we've been paying for 4 or 5 months now doesn't even work. And we've called EMC or whatever,
Yeah,
and
we have to be down there to troubleshoot it, and
And it's
nobody
already
else
been
can be
troubled.
down there. So, you got to go through their ritual of what they want you to do. So,
it's hard enough to get away to actually sit down there and play their games that we've already done. I think it's on their end.
right.
Yeah, because we already know the ritual. Unplug we already do all that. They just want to play games, man. They won't even shut it off right now or give us any money back or refund anything, even though we've informed them of the issue.
Well, hopefully, once they've troubleshot the thing and done everything they're supposed to see, they'll see it's an issue on their end, and then hopefully there will be some compensation because it's not our fault. So we'll go
Yeah.
from there.
Do you think it will work like that, though?
Well, it depends on how adamant I am about it. We'll see.
Mary's pretty good at talking to these guys. I'd be going off on him. Mary's more like all calm and so I don't talk to any of them, man, because after a while I'll start being rude and not rude, but
I'm just adamant in a calm way.
I'm just over it. after a while because I don't want to listen to it. In my world, man, I work customer service, and I don't play games like that with the customers. If they have an issue, I'm going to help them the best I can. And if I'm not gonna judge while I do it or point fingers. I just want to get it done and make sure that everyone is happy and everyone is. We all are on the same playing field. And it's not about blaming or pointing fingers. It's not about anything. It's about just getting it right so everyone can move forward and feel like they got
It's
what
quite
they paid
simple.
for.
All it is what can I do to help you?
That's right, man.
That's
And-
all you need.
And when you get the runaround from these young kids, man, it's just like, dude, why are you acting like this, man? Just take care of the issue. I've been paying whatever amount of money. Now let's get it fixed, man.
That's right.
Don't, and so I get irritated after a while. I'll be cool, but after a while, man, the runaround gets old.
It does get old. It gets very old, especially
Mary
when you
can
get
handle it better than
when you
me.
get transferred to 6 people. I just breathe a lot and remember that you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar.
Yeah, that's right.
That's all.
Man.
Try
Yeah.
to be patient. Sometimes I have to call back because I'm not patient, so I'll call back. But I just have
takes
to.
time
You have to stay calm and breathe. And we have all this other work coming in too. People are calling. People are
That's right,
texting.
too.
You're trying to take care of business at the same time. So it can be.
That's the
time-consuming.
issue, man, because, I'm getting calls left and right and people, just doing that, man. It's like I don't have time to do all this. And after 2 hours of playing games with them, man, it's like, dude, you're interfering in my work now. And I'm sure I'm interfering in yours too, you know what I mean, man? But, yeah, I just like to get stuff done, and I'm not a point finger type of guy like that, man.
If
It's
we
like
work
that.
together,
Right,
let's
we'll get
figure
it
out
done.
what's going on. Let's accomplish the result that's needed. If you can't get that result, let's take care of the problem, get it fixed, and move forward.
Shop life, man. That's shop. That's a business.
That's right.
Anyways, guys, we won't bore you anymore, man. I hope everyone has a beautiful day. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, I'm great. Thank you.
All right. We're good here, guys. If anyone needs anything at all, give us a jingle, man, and we will be here for you, okay? All right. One love. Peace.